Welcome to Fortune Cookies Tarot. This is Saturday Super Read, and we are going to be wrapping up our Diva Week with 8 legendary starlets. We'll be right back. Welcome back, Tarot Maniacs, Tarot fans, Tarot family. So today we're going to be wrapping up our Diva Week with 8 legendary starlets. Some of them you might have heard before, so buckle up because we're going to ask some different questions. I'm going to be using the Pulp Tarot and the Ethereal Tarot or Ethereal Tarot. Some people pronounce it differently. We're going to be using both of those. I busted this deck out for the Josephine Baker fan favorite Friday read, and it just seems to be working. So it's a little bit of an Art Deco deck, but not entirely. So we're going to be using that one, but let's jump right in. I want to remind everybody, 2:30 New York time, we are going to have members only live. We'll open it up at the 3:30 mark, New York time again, for general reads for the general audience. So come one, come all, come on, come hang out with us. My $99 Memorial Day sale continues, and I may open up some hours tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. And with that, hit the like button and let's bring up the card view. I hope you guys are super excited about this, wrapping up the week. Those of you that loved these readings, loved them to death. So I appreciate all of you for watching and having some fun with this. So let's start. We're going to go in chronological order. I think that that is the easiest way to do it. And we are going to start with Anna May Wong. Her acting career was active between 1920s and the 1940s. She was a trailblazing Chinese-American actress who challenged Hollywood's racial typecasting. So we know that Jerry Lewis had portrayed a Chinese landlord in Breakfast with Tiffany, was it? Breakfast with Tiffany. Breakfast at Tiffany's. And now, with the scope of more inclusiveness and more racial sensitivity, it has become kind of a low point in that film. So Anna May Wong experienced a lot of pushback, especially when she was auditioning for roles that were against or partnered with male white Eurocentric counterparts. So some of her famous films from 1922, we have The Toll of the Sea, Shanghai Express. I think most of you may know her from that in 1932, and Piccadilly in 1929. So she did have limited roles here in the United States. So at one point, she did move to Europe, where she experienced much more artistic freedom, very much like our Josephine Baker did. She used her global platform to critique racism in the industry. So beautiful, beautiful woman, beautiful Asian woman. So we're just going to ask 2 questions per starlet because I wanted to get as many in here as possible. But who was Anna May Wong behind her calm and composed screen image? What was she really like? Let's find out. And this is the Ethereal Tarot, the Emperor, fitting card for a Chinese superstar. So the Emperor with the Magician, not only did she have the energy and drive and determination and good sense, this is really good sense here, but she also had the riz, the charisma to pull that off. So this is a powerful combination of the Emperor and the Magician. Truly, truly, truly an amazing powerhouse here in terms of artistry and business sense. The Emperor exudes more business sense, The magician exudes that artistry, the ability to walk and talk and do the deal. So love that. Love that about her. How does her energy guide today's AIPI performers and filmmakers? Three of Cups, Six of Cups, and the Four of Swords. So absolutely, she is well celebrated, well remembered. The Four of Swords is really that cultivation and careful execution of the things that you put out, the image that you put out, the words that you put out. There's no, even though the swords are quite speedy, this is the fours. It's a stable number. It's a stable progression in the minor arcana. This is really being very careful about getting your footing on that launch pad. What I want you to think about is when you see like a swimmer on the starting block, they're kind of settling in, or a sprinter, they're kind of settling into that starting block, the little thing that pushes them off. And this is really getting your footing before you jump forward. So I think calculation strategy is something that today's performers and filmmakers are really learning from her. So that is the echo of her career. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Go watch an Anna May Wong movie. Let's talk about another May, Mae West. Everybody knows Mae West. She was very sexual, a sex positive feminist icon, screen siren. She was also a playwright. I want you guys to remember that about her. We're going to swap up decks. We're going to go over to my pulp tarot, even though I think she kind of deserves a different tarot. We're going to use the pulp tarot. Actually, I'm changing my mind. I'm changing my mind. I am using my super golden tarot for her. So famous films that are Mae West, can't miss her, can't miss her. She Done Him Wrong in 1933. I'm No Angel, also in 1933, and My Little Chickadee in 1940. So she was known for wit and sensuality. You guys remember from yesterday, my Josephine Baker reading. Gregopedia chimed in and said having sensuality, sexuality, and being funny at the same time is a super, super exciting combination. Gregopedia and I, funny goes a long way with both of us. I hope he feels that way about me. I don't know. He's not down here yet. I hear him blowing his nose. So Mae West also defied censors and the patriarchy alike. So I mean, she was scandalous just walking into a room. She wrote, what's that, Greg? Oh my goodness. So she wrote her own material, made herself the star, and famously quipped, when I'm good, I'm very good, but when I'm bad, I'm better. So very, very charming, lighthearted, fun kind of atmosphere. So what was Mae West like away from the spotlight and scripts? Was she the same way? Was she a super fun gal who knew what to put out there? So what was she like? Three of Swords in reverse and the Three of Pentacles. This is a lot of independence here, this Three of Pentacles. And this Three of Swords in reverse is really burying, and sometimes this is healing, but I'm getting burying some emotion that was close to the surface. We can maybe in another reading go a little bit deeper. Like I said, I wanted to do quick questions on these gals so that we could get a nice mixed bag in here. But this is burying some internal pain, getting rid of it. So curious, how does her fearless voice, if you know what that's all about, put it in the comments. Drop that in the comments, because I am not a Mae West biographist. Biographist? How does her fearless voice shape today's women-led creative projects? So how is she influencing women today? Nine of Swords in reverse. So there's a kind of be all you can be kind of, U.S. Army slogan from 1980. There's a little bit of a be all you can be here without any input. This is a deniability. This is a denial of other people coming in and influencing her craft here. That's really what this is. Fear not. Fear not, because the right ones will come and support you. So I like this kind of a message. You know, it's not everybody that's going to help you out, but the right ones will come and help you out. Be fierce, be all, I hate to say be all you can be, but be all you can be. Be that magical, fierce creature. You have the power. I got the power. So that is, you know, really seize the day, seize your power, put it out there, say your piece, be as creative as possible, and don't let anybody dial back. There's no kill switch on awesome for her. So spectacular even. So love that one. Love that one. That's a good message for all of us. Let's move on. So this was our second in the fan favorite Friday. When I went to bed on Thursday night, they were both at 33, Josephine Baker and Lena Horne. So let's talk about Lena Horne just a little bit. Lena Horne, she was a singer, actress, and she was also a civil rights activist, active from the 1940s to the 1970s, nice long career. Famous movies that she was in: Cabin in the Sky, 1943, also Stormy Weather, same year, and The Wiz. Who didn't love The Wiz? I loved The Wiz. She broke racial barriers in entertainment by refusing to be cast in demeaning roles. She was blacklisted during the McCarthy era and later used her voice for social justice and elegant resistance. So no just running out on the street with a pink crazy hat. Lena Horne was a bit more refined in her resistance. So good for her. Who was Lena Horne privately, off the stage, and outside her activism? What was she like? What was she like? The King of Wands and the Seven of Swords. You know, this is troubling for me because I do feel that she was not as successful and wonderful as she was, as tremendous as a performer as she was. I feel we did not see the whole of the iceberg. I think we were just allowed to see the tip due to the standards and practices that were in Hollywood and the racism that had been in full effect, unfortunately. I think if Lena Horne were alive today and performing today as a young artist, actress, I think we would see a lot more out of her, a lot more. And it is unfortunate that there was this holdback on her. I don't know who she made mad. Somebody didn't like her, but this is a boot on her neck professionally, unfortunately. So I think privately there was this restraint of her ability, and that creates this incredible frustration that I am not allowed to do all that I can do. So that's unfortunate. I don't like that one. A lot of frustration behind the scenes. How does her legacy inform Black excellence and elegance in entertainment today? How does her legacy inform Black excellence and elegance in entertainment today? One more here. That the fight is not yet done. And I do think that we're seeing this with Disney. You know, Disney is swapping out some roles. I know Rachel Zegler caused the whole kerfuffle, but she's a Latina actress who played Snow White. We also saw the young lady who performed as Ariel in the live action Little Mermaid. I think we're seeing what Lena Horne would have liked to see. Fight for those roles, fight for the ability to perform. on the same level as white Eurocentric actresses. I have to put it that way. So there's no retreat. Even when we don't get the juicy plum, we are all part of this army of excellence for equality in the entertainment industry. So there's our message from her. Powerful, strong message. Continue to army on, soldier on. Soldier on is what I should probably say. So let's see. We've got Dorothy Dandridge next. She was active in the 1950s, another beautiful Black woman actress. She was the first actress that was nominated for Best Actress at the Oscars. Famous films, Carmen Jones, Island in the Sun, Tamango. So her beauty and talent, and she was stunningly beautiful. Her beauty and talent stunned the world, but racism and Hollywood's limits haunted her. I think we're going to see something interesting about this. Her career was a tragic mix of groundbreaking success and heartbreaking restriction. I think we're going to see something very similar to what we saw with Lena Horne. What truths did Dorothy keep hidden from the public? We're going deep and dark, guys, deep and dark. So I think, if we're talking about back to the couch, that casting couch, we've talked about it before, back to the couch, I think she walked away from a lot of situations from these kinds of magicians that could have done a little more for her. I think perhaps maybe there was a few opportunities to partake in that game, and I think they didn't pan out for her. I think they did not do for her what the promise was. And so I think that she did keep from the public the lies that had been sold to her in terms of leadership in Hollywood, production houses and directors and writers and things like that. I think she kept those lies that were told to her very, very secret. How does her energy support emotionally complex roles for women today? How does her energy support emotionally complex roles for women today? Does she lend herself to the Halle Berrys of the world? Halle Berry, oh, what a gorgeous woman. So here's the thing. Her and I don't want to undervalue it, but her angst, because now that she has passed, it does become kind of an angsty sensation that I'm experiencing. Her angst is something that they can tap into. Artists and actresses can tap into that angst, to that denial of being able to get to where they want to go. Artists are able to tap into that, and they can build and present foundations of that with truth. So really, and it is from pain. Artists can cry because they think about the dog that died when they were younger, or some tragic loss in their lives. This is something in the collective that artists can tap into to present, to further their message in whether it's song or a role or a piece of visual art. So this is very curious, and it comes through as truth. Very, very interesting. It would be curious to see, I would love to see a visual artist do kind of a retrospective of Dorothy Dandridge and psychically incorporate some sensations through their painting through the course of her life. Really, really, really interesting. So let's talk about our next gal, who is a goddess, Sophia Loren. She was active from the 1950s through the present time. So Sophia Loren, Italian screen goddess, international star. She was is Substance, Glamour. She's still alive. She's still alive, right? Substance, Glamour. Is she? Sorry, guys, I had to stop that and just check. Yes, she is still alive. She's 90. She was born September 30th, 1934 in Rome, Kingdom of Italy. So she's been active from the 1950s through the 1920. Absolutely stunningly beautiful. Famous films, Two Women, 1960. She won an Academy Award for that. Marriage, Italian Style in 1964, and El Cid in 1961. She was an international icon. She embodies sensuality and strength, both in equal measure. Her Oscar-winning role, Two Women, made her the first actor to win for a non-English performance. So what is Sophia Loren truly like beneath the glamour and poise? What is she really like? What is our gal like? Oh, I got two cards. So unapologetic and also unchanging. So there's something about her that says, no, we got it right in the 60s. And it's not in terms of look, it's in terms of conduct and content. So I do think that there's a little bit of a disappointment in her with the way that Hollywood is. Every now and then she sees a role that she goes, that's wonderful. Good performance. Like I kind of feel her saying good performance, not in a snobby kind of way, but I do think that there is a bit of disappointment about the general conditions of Hollywood today. I do think there's a little bit of, nah, it's not quite where it needs to be. I think conduct and behavior, like all the Instagram stuff, twerking. I know, twerking. All of that kind of stuff. She's troubled by. She's like, there's no mystique. Like, no one's supposed to see that. No one's supposed to see you acting amok out and about. Like, you can breeze into the brown derby, but no one should see you falling down drunk as you exit. No one should see your hoo-ha from the 90s. We had all of the starlets that were getting out of cars doing a little flash there. Arnold Palmer, it's summer. So I do think that her glamour and poise exists at all time. I think she lives a very elegant life. I think she's very careful about her appearance, the way she is. I just imagine her in like this amazing villa in Italy. Like, she's just in this amazing villa, and it's just gorgeous, and there's fresh bread and freshly grated cheese. Like, oh, I just love her. Mwah. So how does her enduring energy inspire aging gracefully and owning one's narrative in celebrities today? Does she inspire celebrities to age gracefully? She really did do that, didn't she? Magician. Oh, her message of beauty at any age, there's glamour at any age, and that it comes from within, that you set the tone for yourself every single day, comes through very strongly. Good genetics, good basics, good practices. Take care of your skin. Don't smoke. Don't drink all day long. Don't lay out in the sun 24 hours a day. The good practices plus that good spirit, that we're going to be gorgeous. Like, elegance is not a condition that you're born with. It is a practice that you employ every single day. It does take a little bit of effort, but one can achieve that. And I think that is her message. And in order to age gracefully, one must employ a certain amount of elegance so that the wrinkles don't bother you quite so much. I don't think that she's been like madhouse with the plastic surgery or anything like that. I think maybe a little bit here and there. Who doesn't do that? I mean, I had Botox once before I got married, and it was neat. But I do think that her idea of conduct as elegance is much stronger than just suck it up, buttercup, and get old. So Rita Moreno, she was one that was also on my Fan Friday list. I wanted to include her in this. She is an EGOT winner. She's Puerto Rican. She is still blazing trails into her 90s. She's in her 90s now. She's been active since the 1950s, famously in West Side Story, The King and I, Singing in the Rain. We all know those. West Side Story was 1961, King and I was 1956, and Singing in the Rain was 1952. She too fought for typecasting, also sexual harassment and racism, but she still came out on top. She's a fearless force in Hollywood, fighting for inclusion with over 70 years of performances behind her. Now, I do know somebody made a comment about her in my in the chat section. I can't remember what it was, but we'll see what the cards say. Who is Rita behind the awards and roles? Who is she behind that? Ace of Cups, always starting a new relationship, but little bit of a chaotic destructive power here. So I think when we get the Ace of Cups and then this Queen of Wands, like it's a little bit of gaslight and love bomb, gaslight, love bomb, gaslight, love bomb, gaslight. So I think maybe she is a bit tempestuous in her emotions and the way that she deals with people. So I chalk that up for what it is. Like, if you are a celebrity and you have been in a successful career for 70 years, you become a subject matter expert, whether people like it or not. Yeah, the heat? She's not Guatemalan. There is a lot of Puerto Rican heat. My favorite friends are Puerto Ricans. They're so much fun. Some kind of Italian. Oh, stop it. So I do think that there's a bit of hot and colds here. What's the motivation behind that? Let's just take it's gaslighting. There's a little bit of gaslighting here. She uses her feminine wiles to get what she wants. Good for her. Good for her. How does a resilience inspire creative longevity for women artists today? How does her resilience inspire artists today? Female artists. How does it inspire? I like to live in America. So there is a look back, and it's almost as if a chapter closes with Rita Moreno. And I don't mean that like she's on the way out or anything like that. But she did the heavy lifting at the beginning of the story. She did that heavy lifting and broke through a lot of barriers. So I do think that there is credit where credit is earned, that she did break through some barriers for them. And now one of the things is working together, not against each other. And we hear this all the time. Sometimes women can be catty, they can go after each other. Men can do it too, so don't come for me in the comments. But I think working together cross-culturally, I think, is really a message that she would like people to hear. And I'm curious if you guys know if she like partnered up with any like traditional actresses from the early days of her career. Let me know in the comments. That viewer that had some things to say about her, just jot them down below, because like I welcome all comments here. You can love these women, you can hate them, you can give me more information about them. Like they could be like the worst pet owners in the world or whatever. If I don't know it, I would like to know it. So you can drop those down below. I'm not going to be upset. You can be critical of these ladies. You can gush about them and, you know, tell me how awesome they are. So this one I have mixed feelings about coming up, and it's Judy Garland. So we all know 1939, Wizard of Oz, amazing movie. Also in Meet Me in St. Louis, 1944, and A Star is Born in 1954. Now, she had quite the rocky road to getting to stardom. We do know that during The Wizard of Oz, they did not want her. They wanted Shirley Temple. They basically gave her a diet of coffee and cigarettes and told her she was fat, which is really terrible. And amphetamines. They just really were kind of all over her, trying to make her look like a little girl. I do believe that there were other incidents of attempted casting calls, those kinds of things. She was absolutely magical and mistreated throughout her career. She was exceptionally young when she passed away. Was she 44 when she died, Greg?
Really young.
I think she was 44. Like it was, you know, just a very, very short period of time. But, you know, some of these stars blaze hot. And I've never felt, I mean, I love Dorothy Gale. Like who didn't love Dorothy Gale? But I've never felt like this massive, like, oh, Judy Garland. I'm not like you know, a crazy Judy Garland fan, like I am with like Jane Mansfield or Marilyn Monroe or
I think her issue was that she was her PR was tarnished very early.
Oh,
and so I think it affected the public outlook. But also, my grandfather saw her live, and she was not very good. She was verschnicken.
She was verschnicken. So Gregopedia has secondhand information. Hearsay. One might say. I said hearsay, one might say. So I'm going to switch on over to the I'm going to switch back to the ethereal tarot. So her performances did move millions, but her private pain sometimes kind of showed through. You know, that is really very sad. So what was her truest essence behind the curtain? What do we really have behind the curtain here? Six of Swords. She could not get away. And the Artist. This is a specific card to this deck. We'll talk about it in a minute because it's in reverse. And the Four of Swords. So the Six of Swords, not being able to run away from danger. So this is really that at a young age, she became an artist. And what do you do after The Wizard of Oz? You're kind of locked into that role of being an actress. You know all the people, you're cultivating your professional persona. You really can't go and be a housewife or go and be a seamstress or go and be, you know, whatever, you know, you could be at that time. So really, I think this was both a pleasure and pain to be a celebrity for her. The Artist here. Now, the Artist is about opening up the channels to the rest of the world so that we can write our own future. And that is partly why I am saying that she is locked into this circumstance of being an artist, which is very unfortunate. And here, the Four of Swords is more of a sit down and shut up kind of vibe, which is terrible. It's like you got to sit down and take it. You got to do what you got to do. And if it takes a pill or a drink or whatever, you got to do what you got to do because you're a star, baby. So that's, I didn't expect that to be a very uplifting and exciting kind of vibe there. How does her energy still resonate with artists that are battling pressure and burnout? How does her energy still resonate with artists that have just had enough? So here's the thing. If Judy Garland could speak to those, to Britney Spears, let's look at Britney Spears. You know, when Britney Spears was being forced to do all those performances, you can walk away and take the time away from the scene to consider and contemplate, and your audience is still going to love you. The people that believe in you are still going to love you. They're still going to make that work for you. Absence does indeed make the heart grow fonder sometimes in Hollywood. And I think all too often the message is produce, produce, produce. And Judy Garland here says, don't produce, produce, produce. Sometimes you want to be alone. Another famous starlet. I do think that her advice and the energy that she gives to artists today that are fighting burnout is to check out for a bit. Check out and go do what you got to do. Don't medicate, drink to absorb the impact of your celebrity. So I think that's an amazing message from her. So we are going to wrap this up where we started with the late, great Marilyn Monroe. She was active in the 50s and 60s. You guys know that she is an immortal in Hollywood. Her inner life was as deep as her image was bright. Just to catalog some of her films, Some Like It Hot, 1955, 7-Year Itch, 1955, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes in 1953. God bless you. Right, and my favorite was How to Marry a Millionaire. I love that movie. I have a purse that has like the movie posters on it. It's really, really cute. That How to Marry a Millionaire I thought was really great. Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, that orange dress was spectacular. Who loves orange? I do. So Marilyn was not just a blonde joke. She was clever. She was self-educated. She did have a super, super tragic upbringing with mental health disorders, with her mother, her grandmother, absentee father. She didn't even know who her father was. There was a lot of confusion about that. Tragically passing away at 36. I have my own opinion about that. And if you want, there is a video that was a members only video that I made available to the general public about Marilyn's Red Diary. You can go check that out. Very interesting read on that. She remains a muse for self-reinvention, divine femininity, immortal blonde. So what did Marilyn Monroe feel most misunderstood about? I'm going to pull out my pulp tarot for this one, giving that ethereal tarot a little break. What did she feel most misunderstood about? I'm going to do one card for this. Bam. King of Pentacles, that the idea behind the construction of Marilyn Monroe, the superstar, the construction was her own making. And it's often that they depict in movies and biographies about her that she was crafted by the studio. I think the studio gave her some ideas, but I think she was really the catalyst for this amazing immortal blonde bombshell that all of us are trying to emulate. One of the things that I'm doing right now is I'm trying to perfect the Marilyn walk. She's famous for her walk, the way she had a little bit of a wiggle in her bottom, and I am trying to perfect that. And I think I'm about halfway there. So I think, there was a certain quality of her that is, we're unable to bottle it. Britney Spears comes very, very close. but I do think that we will never see the likes of her again. So how does her mystique and vulnerability still inspire women in media, and in artist circles? How does her mystique and vulnerability, 3 of Cups, 10 of Swords, Ace of Cups. This is fun. So she says, party like a rock star, get in there. And while you are young, while you are full of spirit, get in there and suck the marrow out of the bone of life. Just do it. I don't mean that in a salacious way. Here, put yourself to bed, and rest and recover, go into a cocoon, and then rise again. This is a very kind of Phoenix energy here, super Phoenix energy. So that is our Diva week, and I had a blast. I learned a lot of things. Let me know how you guys really enjoyed this, because one of the things, like, I don't know if you want me to keep doing theme weeks. I mean, I have my standard schedule that I use, but if we do theme weeks, you guys can learn a little bit more about some other things. I thought this was great. I had a great time. I hope you did too. It was something a little bit different. Tomorrow, on Sundays, I am going to do, of course, my weekly gratitude, where I'm so happy that you guys are subs and members and private clients and talking about all kinds of fun stuff. But tomorrow, I'm going to start a series on teaching tarot. So on Sundays, I will teach you a little bit about tarot. Some people in the chat say, "Oh, I've always tried to study tarot, and I'm really not that good about it. I don't quite get it." So I'm going to start to teach you guys a little bit of tarot and Lenormand on Sunday. So stick around for that. It's not going to be all in one chunk. I'm going to teach you little bits and dribs and drabs as we go through the next through the summer, I guess. I do have a digital academy, but I believe I'm going to be in the process of moving it over to a different platform. I like the platform I'm on right now, but I'm having some issues, and it's probably user issues, but it just doesn't seem to be, doing exactly what I wanted to do. So I think I'm going to do something a little bit different in the future. If you are a member of my digital academy, don't worry, I will keep you advised. And if you have purchased courses, I'm going to move you over to the new platform at no additional cost. So thank you so much for being here. You guys are great. I hope you had a great week. I hope you learned a lot. You had some fun, and I will see you tomorrow for Gratitude Sunday. And I may drop a couple other videos here and there because we've had a lot of news. Let me catch up on the news a little bit. I wanted some lighter fare this week, and I hope you guys enjoyed it with all the kerfuffle that's been going on in the world. So thank you so much. I will see you in the future.